Welcome, once again, to Henry Kissinger's Pokémon Going to Die, Not a Threat.
Just a fact.
The only Leftist and Politics podcast for the terminally online. I'm Sarah, a.k.a. Beto is you.
I'm Roy, a.k.a. Wiki Yeeks.
How you doing, Roy?
I'm okay. I'm here.
Roy of the show, back in the saddle.
Back in the saddle.
Roy rides again.
Roy rides again, but Roy doesn't have the, side seat that has Garfield in it, so I don't know what I'm gonna do this time.
Where there was one pair of footprints in the sand, that was where Garfield came. Well, there were 4 pairs. Yeah. That was where Garfield carried you. I know you made that joke just 2 weeks ago when you were talking about Garfield Eats, but also...
It doesn't get old.
It doesn't, no. When there were 4 paw prints in the desert, that was where Garfield carried you.
What can I say?
Yeah.
Garfield is my shepherd.
So,
yeah.
How you been?
I've been, dead mostly. I've had, some type of back problems going on all week, and then I spent the last, 3 days cutting out the word from my own audio, so that's kind of where I've been at. I don't know about you.
You are braver than any U.S. Marine for actually cutting the ums and ahs out, because I just leave those sons of bitches in, because there is no way I can possibly get, because I'm always oh yeah, so...
Yeah!
It just always blends together. I cannot cut it in a way that sounds clean whatsoever.
God, see, I have to, because it's 50% of the shit that comes out of my mouth, and it'd be just unlistenable otherwise. And I'm still not used to the sound of my own voice. I still hate it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
I definitely get the it.
Yeah. That's what I call mood.
Yeah. I've been doing well. Not much has changed for me. I had some chicken wings and leftover fish fry for lunch today.
It's lunch.
Yeah. The fish... I didn't even get a fork for the fish fry. I just kind of picked it up out of the styrofoam container with my fingers and just ate it like that. Like it was a chicken tender.
Just dove your face onto the plate like a dog.
Yeah.
That's the real way to do it.
Just a hands-free eating experience. Oh my god.
Real gamers eat face first.
I just remember this time that my mother convinced everyone at the dinner table to eat at least one bite of spaghetti without using our hands or our utensils and just use our face. And then she took a picture of all of us. And I don't know why, and she insisted. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And she pestered me for 5 minutes before I was like, fucking fine, if you'll stop talking about it.
That's your trial.
Yeah.
That's what you have to go through to come of age.
Yeah. Oh, my coming of age story. It's in my dystopian fiction novel. People don't come of age until they can eat a full plate of biscotti with only their face. Only then are they truly considered adults.
You're sorted into the camp that uses a fork and the camp that uses chopsticks. But one girl was brave enough to eat with her whole face.
Fuck that shit. This is the real Hunger Games.
The Hungy Games.
The Hungy Games.
It's media.
There's podcast title.
Thank God.
Glad we got that out of the way.
Good. Knocking it out early.
Oh my god. You want to talk about some news?
I guess. Yeah, let's do this.
So, the big story, I guess, going into today, we got a couple other ones to talk about. The big story, I guess, is Ilhan Omar and her comments at the, I don't remember what the event itself was. Do you happen to know that off the dome?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Her comments basically boiled down to because some Muslims did, because a handful of Muslims were responsible for 9/11, that all of Islam was responsible for 9/11. Mm-hmm. And the way that she phrased it was people saw that some people did something, and all of us were punished for it. And anyone with a second grade reading level can understand what she is saying there, and that she is not trying to refer to 9/11 as just some people did something.
You would think.
But unfortunately, no one in the Republican Party or Democratic Party, for that matter, is able to read above the first grade.
Yeah, it's very easy to understand the phrase "not all X" when you're saying it, but when somebody else is saying it, you have to hear it. Then it gets a little bit confusing. That's where they start to get you.
Yeah. It's all the politicians are still like trying to scratching their heads trying to work out Mavis Beacon teaches typing in Jumpstart second grade. So we'll come back to them. We'll come back to them shortly. But so everyone just like dogpiled on her horribly, as though nothing that she's not familiar with. I guess at this point, the second time in a month that this has happened to her, where she has said something that is like entirely benign, and has gotten completely pulled out of context and made to look as malignant as possible, including and they're just like dumping a fucking tank of gasoline on top of the already like blazing fire that is the alt-right. And like the one thing, including the cover of the New York Post, which had just a detailed photograph of one of the planes crashing into the Twin Towers, and it was just like Ilhan Omar, some people did something, and like in quotes, and then like beneath it was just that, and like, here's your something, Ilhan. And then, the Fox News people came out of the woodworks to, like, question her loyalties to the states. The classic dual loyalty thing that she was raked over the coals for, like, 2 months, 2 weeks ago, when she said something that, like, was, if you looked at it at just the right angle, with just the right perspective, that you could say might possibly be misconstrued as implying the dual ancestry anti-Semitic trope. Sorry, I'm going a mile a minute because I just got done with my other podcast, like, right
No,
before
I don't blame
this.
you. I'm still, like, half asleep, so... Like,
that's extremely valid of you.
Yeah,
Fox News did that. All the Republicans, like Dan Crenshaw is doubling down on her. The one who looks like a fucking Metal Gear Solid character, motherfucker with an eye patch. And he is doing his best to make Ilhan Omar ashamed of her words and deeds. Thank you.
Oh God.
And then some people who survived 9/11 or like impacted by it say that like we're like Dan Crenshaw literally would not talk to me about like being a survivor of 9/11, and he is now going after Ilhan Omar for it.
Yeah, somebody said something like literally he said to them like, I don't have time to talk about your benefits or something literally like that.
And then it all kind of came to a head when Trump posted our president, our wet president,
our enormous wet president.
Our gargantuan president, Mr. Deals, posted a video to his Twitter, which is, this is the second time in a week where we've talked about a video that Trump posted on his Twitter, so,
he loves vlogging, what can we say? He's the vlog president.
Yeah, that's what it is. Logan Paul, Donald Trump go on Logan Paul's podcast challenge. Oh god, the thing is that Logan Paul would do that. Like if Donald Trump asked, Logan Paul would do it.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it's a matter of when, not if.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Trump posted a video that was just like Ilhan Omar saying some people just the clip of her saying some people did something interlaced with footage of 9/11 happening.
Yeah.
And just like, it's just some people did something. Here's some 9/11 footage. Some people did something. Here's some 9/11 footage. Some people did something. Here's some 9/11 footage. Like, and it's just blatant propaganda, and they are out trying to get Ilhan Omar fucking killed.
It's very, I'm Timmy Turner and I cheated on my math test.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah.
God. Oh my god. But yeah, and the Dems are also just not doing a fucking thing about this. Like, remember how the Dems like shit their pants when Ilhan Omar said that thing about like AIPAC funding AIPAC lobbying with money? And then they were like, that's anti-Semitic, and we have to take steps to stop her before she does greater harm to our relationship with the great people at the American-Israeli Partnership. What does AIPAC stand for again? American Israel, AIPAC, whatever. The good fine people over at AIPAC who have never done anything wrong or bad in their lives.
Yeah.
So the Dems are just completely not doing anything about this. Everyone
usual.
was raking her over the coals about this, and the Dems are just staying completely 100% silent, except for Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi bravely coming to her defense and saying she tweeted this. She did a press conference last night. Where she said, I haven't had the opportunity to speak with Ilhan Omar to see the nature of her comment. And as is custom with my columns, I call them in before I call them out, so I'll look forward to hearing from her. So Nancy Pelosi fucking retire. But then on top of that, this morning she decided to tweet about 24 hours at least after Trump posted that video. So, real finger on the pulse bullshit here. The memory of 9/11 is sacred ground, and any discussion of it must be done with reverence. The president shouldn't use the painful images of 9/11 for a political attack. Now, as is every American listener to this podcast, I am well aware that 9/11 was one of the greatest losses of human life on human soil, on American soil, but also, I know this is a common sentiment, but I'm just so tired of it being paraded around as though it is this holy ground for us, as though ground zero is our Mecca, and as though it must be treated with the utmost reverence, and it was, don't get me wrong, it was terrible that it happened, but also we can discuss it without just having to be all that. And it's not even the Republic, it's honestly the Republicans hate New Yorkers.
Honestly,
New York is such a fucking deeply blue state. There are some Republicans are throwing around the idea of just pushing people, some of the people trying to cross the border into blue states like New York, and I couldn't think of another blue state. I couldn't think of another state that I could confidently. Yeah, California. Yeah. Thank you. Obviously, this is just some crocodile tears ass bullshit. They don't give a shit about any New Yorker, and they're just talking about every New Yorker felt the pain of 9/11, and we stand with the New Yorkers on this, but also fuck you for voting blue. Yeah. New York, suck my dick.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's so, oh my god, it's so just transparent, it's so...
They are just
exactly what you said. It's just crocodile tears. It's the only type of tears they know how to cry.
Yeah, and this is a week after a man was arrested recently for making credible death threats against Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, and now even more are coming in, right?
This woman already has a giant fucking target painted right on her back, and Trump just put a huge fucking magnifying glass on her, and every time that woman appears in public, she is braver than any fucking U.S. Marine.
Absolutely.
If this was happening to me, I would be fucking scared shitless constantly. But the fact that she is just doing things, still operating like normal, is genuinely fucking I respect her, and the only Dems that have come together around her on this are the three freshmen, her, Rashida Tlaib, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and also what the hell's Presley? I forgot, Ayanna Presley, I believe. But those are the only four who are who's only four representatives who at this time have spoken out.
Which you gotta love.
Yeah, you are in fact legally required to love it.
You are legally required to hand it to him.
Yeah. You are under all circumstances required to hand it to them. But yeah, that's been making me extremely internet mad these last few days. I don't know, just the president using his platform like that, just to I don't know. I genuinely hope that something. I genuinely hope. I am genuinely worried that something is going to happen to Omar at this point.
That's honestly. I'm one more statement against her away from believing that it's unfortunately another matter of when and not if.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying. And didn't fucking President Damp say something about you gotta do what you gotta do, or something in regards to, I don't know, I might be making
I think you're crossing the wire. I think you're crossing wires about the thing where he ordered someone to go against he ordered one of his subordinates to go against some law in California.
That's what it is. Okay.
And then he said, and then he basically kind of implied hey, I'll pardon you. And then they were well, he was joking though, so it's okay.
I wish I could just walk into court and say, but it was a joke, and then it's just cool.
Yeah, I stabbed him it was a prank. It was just a prank, but the knife was real.
Yeah, the knife was real, but it was a joke. As you can tell, I stabbed him sarcastically. Yeah. Next time I go work at the law library, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah,
because I'm sure there's something on the books.
To what degree do your eyes have to roll before your crime becomes legal and ironic?
How much time has to pass between you committing the act and you saying LOL?
How much time has passed between you stabbing someone and saying, not, until it doesn't count? You want to talk about some other news that came out recently that got me extremely mad?
Yeah, sure.
So you know what Hudson Yard is?
I heard about it because of you, so I'm gonna let you take this one. Yeah.
Hudson Yard is like this fucking Ivory Towers motherfucker place in Lower Manhattan, in New York City.
It sounds like you're not allowed to pronounce it any way other than Hudson Yard.
Hudson Yard, yes.
Hudson Yard.
Hudson Yard. Is this Ivory Tower bullshit? Wait, what does Ivory Tower mean, actually? I know Ivory Tower has, like, a meaning that is not just, like, rich people in tall buildings.
It's where the childlike empress lives, and you have to hop on Falcor to get there.
What?
I'm making a funny Neverending Story reference. Have you not seen Neverending Story?
I've not seen Neverending Story, no.
What the fuck? How have I seen a movie that you haven't seen?
There are a lot of classics that I haven't seen. Like, Roy.
Okay, no, Sarah.
Roy,
Sarah.
Most of the movies that I have seen are A, horror movies, or B, Ace Ventura and Pet Detective, which I have seen 60 times.
Okay, I mean, alright, that's fair.
Yeah, I wish I had Neverending Story growing up instead of Ace Ventura Pet Detective, because I think
it's really good.
I don't think Neverending Story has any, like, grossly transmisogynistic plot points in it that would make me hate myself for the next 10 years.
It definitely doesn't have that. It has, I mean, can I prematurely do my Lightbringer? Whatever, I'll get to it.
But, so, yeah. Hudson Yard, was, so a little bit of backstory. There was this thing called, the EB5 project, which is just a project that gives visas to, foreigners who pump money into real estate projects in, remote areas or distressed urban areas that could use it. Mm-hmm. Between $500,000 and $1 million, which, like, on its face, that seems like a pretty good thing, you know, just like American citizen. It's capitalism. Yeah. It's extremely capitalistic, but it's, American citizenship in exchange for help are places that do not have good infrastructure or, has high unemployment or whatnot.
Yeah.
And this company was like, the related companies are like, well, we want to build Hudson Yard, but we can't get EB5 money because we are unemployed. And like, there's a qualification for like, for areas that are eligible for EB5, which is like you have to have an employment rate that is 150% of the national average. Mm-hmm. And Hudson Yard did not have that because it's just a bunch of rich people in their fucking skyscrapers. Mm-hmm. And then the related company was like, well, politicians do gerrymandering a lot, and it seems good to them. So what if we did gerrymandering for the sake of our money? And the New York authorities were like, it sounds good to me. So, they gerrymandered geographic boundaries because there was really nothing in the fine print of the EB5 stuff that said, like, how these boundaries had to be, like, designed. So they basically said that a bunch of extremely, some census tracts in Harlem with, housing projects to severely boost the unemployment figures, but they just lumped a bunch of those together, and also Central Park, and then, like, cornered from that is like Hudson Heights Hudson Yard, just off to the side. And like that just kind of all is one district. And they were like, well, I checked the numbers and Hudson Yard is part of a district that has 150% unemployment rate. So give us money. And then this area in Harlem that got like none of the benefits of the cash that was pumped into Hudson Yard.
You gotta love it.
Yeah, Hudson Yards. I kept writing Hudson Heights in my notes, and I don't know why. I feel like Hudson Heights was like a level name in NFL Street 2. But yeah, so apparently, I feel like I'm misreading this because I cannot believe it, but apparently there was like $1.6 billion.
Wow.
That was siphoned into Hudson Yard over this. Which is like, so, like, obviously that's extremely criminal, but, like, if you think about the fact, like, if the unemployment rate in Hudson Yard is, like, so low, imagine how much higher the unemployment rate in those areas of Harlem had to be in order to boost that, in order to push the average, in order to push the mean over the 150% of the national average.
It's fucking ridiculous. What the hell?
That's... why would New York... I know why New York government would allow this, because New York government fucking garbage bad, and Miranda Sex and the City should have been our governor, and not fucking Andy Cuomo.
Andy.
Oh my god. Randy Andy needs to get fucking primaried.
Andy Cuandy.
Andy Cuandy? What?
I don't know.
Oh my god! But yeah, I read that. I read this story. I'm just gonna pull up the thing because I feel like there's something that I'm missing from this text that I am.
It feels like the type of thing where you would think something's missing, but it's just this is just how it is. It's just this, baby.
Like if you look at the map, it's just like ridiculous. It's like like it's like right on top of the Hudson River. Hudson Yards looking like just Hudson Yards are so fucking far from the public housing projects.
Yeah, they don't want to touch the pores.
Yeah, it's it's a lot.
Yeah.
And like, EB5, and as capital, because EB5 sounds like it sounds like decent, if capitalistic on the table, you know that there's some exploitation, and it's been under scrutiny because, Vermont also, two Vermont financiers built a resort complex, using $200 million that they misappropriated.
Oh, God.
So that's fun.
Cool. Good and cool.
Yeah.
Happy building, Hudson Hawk. It's cool.
Hudson Hawk die challenge.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
You want to tell us about our favorite man, Julie?
Yeah. Let's talk about Julie Ass. So, good old Julian Assange is back at it again. Piece of shit Julian. So first some backstory. He fucked off to the Ecuadorian embassy in London back in 2012 after Sweden put out an international warrant for his arrest on account of him being a rapist. So I'm just going to call the Ecuadorian embassy Ecuador because it's simpler and it's Ecuadorian soil, so it's Ecuador. It's Ecuador to me. So he's been in Ecuador since 2012. He got Ecuadorian nationalization, which I'm not sure if it's the same thing as citizenship, but it's something similar, I guess. He got that back in 2017, and he's kind of recently just been acting like a cartoon character while living in the embassy. Like, there are, like, accounts of him, like, insulting staff and, like, riding a scooter around inside and smearing his shit on the walls. Which... You know, which you do.
The normal thing that you do.
It's the thing that you do when you're a grown, wanted criminal.
Yeah.
More importantly, though, he's been just kind of generally, like, fucking with everything Ecuador is trying to do as, like, a country. He's been, like, potentially fucking up some shit they had going on with Spain and...
Literally 100% shitting where he eats.
Life imitates art.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he put out this thing called the INA Papers, which I'm not sure what INA stands for, but it's like basically an account of a bunch of shit going on in the Ecuadorian president's private life, and he put that online. So, Ecuador basically said he's lying. Julie held a press conference and said, "Nuh-uh, they're spying on me, actually." And then the day after that, Ecuador said, "Okay, I've had enough of this guy," and revoked his nationalization, rescinded his asylum status, and told the cops it's cool to come arrest him. So he gets arrested on a bunch of different charges. I think the one that he got arrested for today, or not today, but, recently this time, is for U.S. federal conspiracy charges, I think. And then he, I guess, was gonna try to go from the embassy to Japan, and that's when some Swedish friend of his, named Ola Bini, who's a software developer, I can't find a whole lot of information about this, got arrested because he and Assange and the former Ecuadorian president, Rafael Correa, who had been the one who granted Assange asylum status in the first place, may have been working together to do whatever type of shit it is that they do. Because, unfortunately, the Swedish sexual assault crimes had to be dropped back in 2017 due to a bunch of, like, bureaucratic stuff, like some type of time limitation.
Statute of limitations.
Yeah, statute of limitations, yeah.
Listen, I've played Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. And I've played Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. And I've played Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. And I have played Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. And I have played Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. And I have played Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. And I have played Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice.
That's how you get your law degree.
Yeah, I'm a lawyer now.
Yeah. That's what Kim Kardashian is doing right now. She's just playing a lot of... she's playing a lot of Ace Attorney. And that's how she's getting her law degree. But yeah, no, so he's been arrested. He looks like somebody turned a baby into a mall Santa right now. Like, have you seen the pictures of him right now?
Yeah, there's a reaction picture that I have saved on my desktop that I'm going to share in podcast chat right now.
Please.
That looks exactly like him. Hold on, this is an image that I have not seen, that I've not had the use for in a while.
Yeah, correction, from
Lydia.
Hold on. Yeah, from Lydia, the Swedish charges weren't dropped, they were just kind of shelved.
Yeah.
And they're I guess trying to work on them, kind of like reviving the charges, which would be good. So, I'm not sure what the chances are of that, or what the process is, but I've heard some,
but at the end of the day, this is like the exact opposite. This is just like horrifying. The worst person you know has a really good point, because it's like it is Julian Assange, who I do categorically hate as a person.
Yeah,
but also this says some pretty worrying things for like whistleblowers and freedom of the press.
Yeah,
and such.
Yeah, it's like one of the world's biggest, unfortunately, the person you hate the most. You know, it's just so shitty that it has to be somebody like him doing this.
Yeah, like, why couldn't it have been, like, anyone good? Like, God. Chelsea Manning or something.
Yeah. Remember her?
Yeah. she's still in prison.
Gotta love that.
Remember how we have an amendment that just you can just invoke to not for freedom of speech to not say things, and then you get sent to jail for it anyways?
Yeah. It's normal.
Yeah. It's normal, and I might go so far as to say it's good to me. Yeah,
actually.
You know, I'm thinking about it, and I feel like I do actually, in fact, love to see it.
Yeah, I might have to change my vote on this one. I think I do actually like it.
Yeah, we do actually have to hand it to him.
You do actually have to hand it to him. Remember how the Constitution is good?
Who? Game of Thrones, back tomorrow, baby.
Oh boy.
I know that's like a weird jump to anyone who doesn't listen to PGOT, but the Who meme is from post Game of Thrones, which is the podcast that was the originator of Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die.
It's the podcast that birthed 1,000 podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PGOT is the brood mother. Ugh. I don't like that. I wish I hadn't said that.
PGOT is the primordial soup, and we all just crawled out of it, slimy.
And then we turned back around and just ate some of the primordial soup because it was so yummy.
It was yummo.
Yeah. Oh, God. You want to talk about the House Judiciary Committee and their hearing on white supremacy?
Sure.
White nationalism, I should clarify.
Yeah.
So, this was just a fucking farce. The Republicans just treated this like a fucking farce because, like, the Democrats kind of came in it, like, well-intentioned to actually talk about, like, the rise of white nationalism, and the Republicans were just like, they sent Candace Owens, a woman whose whose literally only credits is that she is online and has a lot of Twitter followers.
Yeah.
Which is, like, if you're not familiar, Candace Owens is, one of the women who, one of the alt-right women, recently named in the Christchurch shooters,
Manifesto.
Manifesto, thank you, yes.
Yeah.
He explicitly named her and sung great praises about her, and also said that this is the man who killed, like, what was the final death tally? It was like 49?
I feel like it was more than that.
It killed a lot of people. And he also said in his letter that he loved Candace Owens, but felt that some of her views were a little bit too extreme at times.
Yeah.
So the Republicans trotted her out, which is like, cool.
The Republicans' favorite thing anymore is bringing out people who have a lot of internet. So, Yeah.
To quote unquote trigger the libs.
Yeah, to trigger the libs. Yeah.
As one of the representatives literally asked her. One of the representatives literally asked Candace if she quote triggers the left. But also it got broadcast to YouTube live streaming where there were comments at the start, but they had to turn them off because they had become so flooded with white nationalism and vitriol that they literally could not moderate them whatsoever because everyone who was in there was just screaming white supremacy things all the time. All the time.
Yeah, all the time. And then brain genius Louis Gohmert, is that how you fucking pronounce his
yes,
name?
It's just Jerry Nadler mentioned that.
Yeah.
Sorry, that guy's last name is Nadler.
What if it was Nadsler?
What if it was Nardler? I think it'd be pretty good if his name was Jerry Nardler.
I would like it a lot.
Yeah.
Actually.
Jerry Nardler brought it up, and Louis Go Home responded with, could that just be another hate hoax? And then Nardler was like, I'm sorry, and Go Home said, could that be another hate hoax? Just keep open possibilities. All possibilities. All things. In God, all things are possible.
All the time.
All the time. Candace Owens also claimed that the Southern Strategy had never happened. And are you familiar with the Southern Strategy?
Yeah, I live in the South.
Right. Point.
You
so
cracked
for
me.
people, some people who don't know what the Southern Strategy is, and correct me if I'm wrong on this. I did like a 10-minute dive on this. I just want to make sure. I think I got everything, but like the Southern Strategy was basically something in like when was this? Like the 70s, 80s, 60s? When was
60s.
this? 60s. Okay.
Yeah.
Something in the 60s where the Republicans
the
just
60s
became like
into the 70s, yeah.
Yeah, the Republicans just became like extremely racist as in an attempt to pull the quote unquote Dixiecrats, like the people who were Democratic otherwise but just really hated black people, like just extremely playing into racial animus, and then it is so well documented that I don't remember who it was. I should have wrote their name down, but someone actually a Republican
Ken Melman.
Melman. Ken Mailman actually apologized for it publicly in 2005.
Yeah.
And then Candace Owens got up there and was like, oh no, that doesn't happen. That didn't happen.
Yeah. Actually.
Candace Owens also, Representative Ted Lieu, just held up a phone and was like, all right, so, I'm gonna let Candace Owens' words speak for herself. And it was the video of her, like, saying, Hitler would have been fine if he had just stayed in Germany. And it would have been good, actually. But he wanted to make everyone like Germany. And then Candace Owens responded, like, fired back to that, like, it's very obvious that the representative does not think that black people are very smart if they are just going to take that at face value, which is to imply that the rest of the video provided context for her, to imply that it was a Timmy Turner, I cheated on my math test kind of thing. But really, the whole video is just worse than the actual snippet. Like, the snippet made her look better, if anything.
Yeah. And Ted Lieu was, like, sitting there playing it, like, looking just as fed up as possible.
He just looked fucking dunzo.
Yeah.
And then she just turned around and was like, well, obviously the senator hates black people. And, like, that was, like, an epic clapback, hashtag epic win, hashtag Jack Posobiec, hashtag Paul Joseph Watson. What's a funny name to make Paul Joseph Watson's name into?
Paul, Bloseph Goatson. I don't fucking know.
Paul Bloseph Goatsy.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, Paul Bloseph Goatsy and Jack Posobiec were like, wow, look at this epic clapback.
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk also, which I had to see because I realized that I hadn't actually blocked Charlie Kirk yet somehow. Oh my god.
There's too many of them.
But so that happened. But yeah, it also does rule that, like, literally not a month after she was named in a mass shooter's manifesto, the Republicans were like, yeah, we can trot her out.
That's
like,
what they do.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do, actually.
Yeah.
Because when you hear somebody's name, there's no such thing as bad publicity, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You want to move into some shoutouts?
Let's move into some shoutouts.
Unless you got anything else big.
Should we? Speaking of, I closed the damn window. Do we want to talk about the Ohio abortion?
Oh, the
bill
heartbeat
thing?
bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should. Ohio passed a bill that makes it illegal to get abortions after 6 weeks.
Yeah, in any feasible way.
Which is like, 6 weeks is like, if you're trying to get pregnant, you probably will know by then. But, like, if you're not trying to get pregnant, or you got pregnant by accident on account of, I don't know, name a reason that you got accidentally pregnant, because there are so many.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you if you're not watching for a pregnancy, it's pretty easy to miss a 6-week deadline.
Yeah. And the coolest thing about this bill is that it has no exceptions for rape and incest, so you gotta love that.
Jesus, I didn't really.
Yeah, they tried to introduce those exceptions, and they said nope. So if you're raped and you don't want to have the baby, you could get 6 to 12 months in prison and a $2,500 fine, which is just,
Is that just for like? Is that like for actually getting the abortion itself, or is that just for pursuing it?
That's for the doctors, sorry. That's, doctors and others who perform an abortion after a heartbeat has been detected or when failing to do an abdominal or transvaginal ultrasound before an abortion are punished under, State Bill 23, including facing a 5th-degree felony punishable by 6 to 12 months behind bars and a $2,500 fine. So that's the doctor. Actually,
I didn't know penalties went down to 5th degrees.
I know! Like, at that point, whatever. Ugh.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And, like, this always comes up anytime abortion comes up, but, like, this is not going to stop abortions. What this is going to do is stop safe abortions. This is just going to increase the number of people who are buying, like, abortion pills off the black market, people who are doing it in their back seats, people who are doing it just in their own home, doing DIY, like, this is just going to harm more women, as it always has done in the past, and always will continue to do so, as long as they continue to try and outlaw these kinds of things.
Yeah. And one of the state representatives was talking about how, like, inevitably it's going to be challenged, and he's, like, basically saying, yeah, we hope so, because if it goes to the Supreme Court, it's going to reverse Roe v. Wade, which, love to see a plot unfold.
God, I listened to the first episode of that new podcast from the guy who does Behind the Bastards, the It Could Happen Here, or whatever it's called. And, oof, that was a bummer.
Can we talk about something stupid?
Yeah, talking about some stupid stuff, well, this is just kind of, like, really making me internet mad stuff.
That's the same thing.
You know Borderlands, the video game?
Yeah, the video game of Borderlands.
They're making a third one.
Okay.
And to announce it, they had Randy Pitchford, the man who was most recently in headlines for leaving a thumb drive with A, internal documents from Gearbox, and B, porn of a quote-unquote barely legal girl on it that he... and also he said, oh no, it wasn't to jerk off to, it's because she does a cool magic trick when she squirts, and I couldn't figure out how she did it, and I'm a magician. And he went up on stage and just, like, even if that's, like, completely made up fakey fake bullshit, like, even if every single detail of that story is a lie, what the fuck is he doing on stage?
Excuse me? What the fuck? Like, a magic... oh my god.
You want something that you want the fucking icing on the shit cake for that?
Do I?
He revealed Borderlands 3 by doing a magic trick.
Border Lorders. Okay.
It's really frustrating that, like, men can do that and just, it's fine though. But, like, if a woman makes a video game, she gets to just get harassed for 5 years and an entire reactionary hate movement gets to be made about her.
When he did the magic trick to unveil it, though, did he do it as he squirted?
I don't want to think about Randy Pitchford squirting.
I mean, he's doing research with porn, supposedly, so you can only assume.
Yeah.
He's workshopping bits.
Yeah, oh my god. Fucking... Anyways, yeah, Randy Pitchford fucking die challenge.
God.
Oh my god. Let's see, what else do we got in terms of shoutouts?
Alex Jones went on Logan Paul's podcast.
So that's fun.
Yeah.
They just did that. Like, Logan Paul's audience, which is, like, entirely teenagers, like...
Yeah. Logan Paul's audience, which he still has.
Yeah, like, he is still one of the biggest YouTubers after he, last year, remember, that he did two things, including taser a dead rat.
Yep.
On video.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think he tasered a rat to death. He did not taser a dead... Well, he did taser a dead rat, because he tasered a rat to death and then kept tasering it.
There was a taser and a dead rat involved.
Yeah. And also he filmed a dead body in the Japanese suicide forest.
Yeah. The dead body of a suicide victim.
Yes, to be clear. But he's doing fine now. What's Logan up to
he's
right
America's
now?
sweetheart.
I'm gonna go to Google. I'm gonna go to YouTube and just look up Logan Paul, see what his latest video is, see how he's doing lately. We can get back to the fucking let's see, what's up? Are you going to Coachella? Song. R.I.P. Kong, so his dog died. And we got robbed. Security footage.
Well, he's living.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah, he did a podcast with Alex Jones on his podcast Impulsive, which is, they just, like, in order to Alex Jones does not deserve a platform in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, even a platform to laugh at fascists is still a platform given to fascists.
Mm-hmm.
So fuck him, but also fuck Logan Paul in general. Sorry, my energy is, like, really waning right now.
You're good. You're good.
I need you to carry me the rest of the way home, Roy. Can you take the rest of this story?
I can try. I mean, that's pretty much everything I know about it. What, didn't he, like... Oh god, hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, Julia Alexander over at Polygon did a really good thread about the entire thing because, as much as I disagree with Julia Alexander about a lot of things, I think she is very good at being online about the people that I hate.
Yeah. Yeah, Logan Paul just, like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the point of this interview was supposed to be. I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah,
like... Jones is talking about how there are kids that, like, he is very popular about among teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow. He says that he signed autographs for 12-year-olds. Like, here's a fun thing also. In case you thought that 4chan was not linked to the alt-right whatsoever, in case you still held that belief in 2019, Logan Paul's co-host asked, what is your approach to finding a story that is worth exploring? Jones says, it used to be, if the internet was questioning it and it was the top of 4chan, I would then cover it. Well, they're talking about it, so I can question it.
Well, there you go.
Sounds great.
Gotta love it.
What else we got?
What else we got? What is this?
Oh.
Huh?
Brian Schoenman.
Yeah, what is this? You're the games, so I don't know.
So, EVE Online is a stupidly complex online game where people pretend to be politicians in space, basically, and do, it's a very severe system, and you can get fucked over pretty easily if you don't know what you're doing. There's also widespread corruption, including, for this in real life politician and maritime law lobbyist, Brian Schoenman, was banned from EVE Online for corruption in a stunning case of art imitates life. Well, hopefully life imitates art, and he gets banned from life for corruption.
I wish you could get banned from real.
Yeah, oh, that would be pretty good. Though I feel like the system would be kind of abused.
Yeah, a little bit maybe.
By this time the TERFs would have definitely banned me from being real at this point.
Yeah. Jesus. Ugh.
What's the last thing on here?
The president soundtrack got his campaign video removed from Twitter because he did a copyright funny.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he backed his campaign video with music from The Dark Knight Rises, and not, unfortunately, The Dark Knight, which would have been far funnier, because then he would have just been doing the Joker.
Yeah.
Because what if Trump the Joker?
We could have called him President Twisted.
Oh my god, President Twisted. I don't want to think about President Twisted.
Well, now you have to, so... You're welcome.
Oh, god. Why must we live in this world, Roy?
I don't want it. So, at the law library, we have, a TV that's right above the, welcome desk, and, I'll be sitting there, and my manager will come out and look at the TV, kind of behind me, and then just look at me and shake her head, and, keep walking to wherever she's going, and I'm like, yeah, me too. And I said something to her at one point where I was like, I literally used the phrase, we're living in the dumbest timeline, and she was like, yeah, and this woman is, in her 60s, so... we all know.
Jumping back to the Logan Paul for a second, Lydia in the chat has informed us that the Paul brothers grew up a city north of her. They are a product of their petite bourgeoisie McMansion cul-de-sac environment.
That tracks.
Yeah. Lydia says that she grew up in Ohio, which in the city that was the Pawnee to the Jake Paul's hometown of Westlake, which is the Eagleton to her Pawnee.
God.
You got anything else to talk about?
I mean, no, not really. I mean, do we want to... I would say I feel like we're obligated to bring up Star Wars, but just because it's the thing that's happening.
We can talk a Star Wars.
I don't want to talk a Star Wars because I don't know shit about a Star Wars, so...
I'm excited about a Star Wars. Like, I was a very late comer to Star Wars. Like, I didn't get into it as a kid for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure why. I was just too busy watching Ace Ventura, I guess. A New Hope.
I mean, it's an easy roadblock to
more like a poo dope. I'm gonna go watch Ace Ventura call a lady a man.
You gotta love it.
I'm gonna watch
comedy.
Ace Ventura show off this woman's cut off dick that she just keeps in the back of her pants.
Cool.
At least I think that was the implication, because otherwise she has the most perfect tuck that also just turned into the most, like, she just has the most perfect tuck of the biggest dick I have ever seen.
Jesus Christ. For
the longest time, I thought that movie ends with the climax of that movie ends with when Ace Ventura turns Lois Einhorn, the bad woman, around to reveal that she is, like, she tucked and her dick is hiding in her butt, but it just kind of looks like there are some turds floating around in her panties. And I was like, oh, all the men hate it because she shits her pants. But yeah, I'm excited for a Star Wars.
Okay, cool. See, so that's a good thing. See, I haven't watched the trailer yet because I was too busy listening to my own bad voice yesterday.
Oh, I thought you were just going to say you were too busy. You were too busy thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting on my brain, which had expanded out of my head, and it turned into a beanbag chair.
And also turned into a hot girl you were fucking.
Yeah, that too. I was holding hands with her.
Just busting you in your gray matter.
Yeah, she asked me where I worked out, and I said the library.
Talk about cum brain.
Oh, there we go.
Insane in the cum brain? Is that anything?
It could be another potential episode title, if you ask me.
Or it could just be the outro music.
There we go. Okay, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for a Star Wars. I hope that I need someone to spoil me in advance as to whether or not Reylo happens,
so
that
absolutely.
I'm not just sweating bullets the entire duration of the film.
Yeah.
Worried that they might kiss at some point.
No, I don't. He's so wide.
Hey, you remember how D&D are doing a Star Wars movie and probably a trilogy?
Hey, fuck you.
The Game of Thrones men, they're making Star Wars.
I don't want them to do that.
It's going to be graphic and brutal, and there is a character who's going to be purported to be the protagonist for the first 5 minutes of the movie, and then they are going to die. They're going to try and just do they're going to try to do a pop head chop, but it won't have any of the gravitas of Ned Stark, because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And also there will be at least one extremely, if not a sexual assault itself, a extremely, like, Bikini Leia level of women treatment in that movie, in those movies.
Yeah. There's BuzzFeed top 5 potential Star Wars characters who ain't gonna have no dicky. I think my number one vote for funny no dicky character is C-3PO.
Are you saying there's a chance that they say actually he does have a dicky?
No, that they're saying that he doesn't have a dicky and it's funny.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
I thought you were just saying, like, you were theorizing that. I thought you were just theorizing that they would confirm in the movie that C-3PO does not have a dick.
I mean, well, that's part of it. You gotta confirm it before you make fun of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Anything else?
I got nothing.
Cool. Looking in the questions box, we don't have any, so we're just gonna move straight to Lightbringers. What you got, Roy?
You know what? I'm just gonna go with what I brought up earlier. I'm gonna say The Neverending Story. I haven't watched it in a minute, but it's good, and I like it, and it's one of the movies that I demanded to watch over and 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 over again when I was small.
It was your Ace Ventura Pet Detective.
It was my Ace Ventura Pet Detective. It was that and Wayne's World, which my parents, for whatever reason, let me watch when I was 3.
I am Jack's Ace Ventura Pet Detective.
My own private pet detective.
It's no surprise to me, I am my own pet detective. Because every now and then I do some fun trans misogyny.
Oh my god.
Jim Carrey's wet, and there's a stuffy dude with a monocle. I called him Monopoly Guy. That's from Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any details from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Literally, the only thing I remember about either Ace Ventura movie is the Rhino boat scene.
I'm in a rhino's butthole, and I'm sleeping with Monica from the TV show Friends. Dan Marino is in this flick. Oh my god. My recommendation this week is going to be the very, very good television show of Veronica Mars. In advance of the Hulu series coming back on July 26th, which was announced yesterday, which I'm extremely excited about. Veronica Mars has long been my favorite television show ever since I first saw it. When was that? I was 16 or 17 when I first watched it. It's really good. It is my favorite television show. And I'm going back to it. I watched the first couple episodes last night and today, and really, really, really holds up. Everything about it is great. The soundtrack is so mid-2000s, but in the best way possible. The character, a neo-noir, but from the perspective of a 17-year-old girl, is such a phenomenal pitch, and Kristen Bell is just, everyone in that cast is great, but Kristen Bell is just a standout fucking... Oh god, it's the kind of writing that Aaron Sorkin wishes he could do. It's got the same kind of snappy feel of the Aaron Sorkin stuff, but not bad. Do want to say though, if anyone is planning on checking this out on my recommendation, there is a sexual assault that is a major plot point over the entire duration of the series. It is handled very well and very respectfully, but if that's not something you can deal with, just probably steer clear. Good idea to do so. I think it's a very good show, and I think it handles it. Well, I think it handles pretty much every tough subject that it tries to tackle with extreme, with the exact amount of weight that it deserves. But like I said, if you can't handle that, I'd say avoid it. Yeah. That's podcast. You want to do some cleanup here?
Yeah, let's clean this joint up.
Okay, thank you very much to you for listening. If you would like to support this, we can be found everywhere, HKIPGTD. That's us on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, Gmail, and Reddit, and Patreon. Thank you to Bisexual Punch Party for setting up our subreddit and running that thing still. We very much appreciate you. If you support us on Patreon, $1 a month gets you access to any and all bonus content we do. Our most recent one was Alex, talking about racism and fashion in a new segment we call Cut for Time. We have a Storm of Swords Lightbringer coming up, I'm pretty sure. That will 7-part episode, Storm of Swords Lightbringer. But yeah, $5 a month gets your name right on the show and a special user status in the Discord. $10 a month lets you listen to the show live like 3 people are, and everything else. And an even more special user status in the Discord. So, thank you very much to Dr. Activisionary, Butt Chuggington, Roam the Other V, Burger Meister, Fully Automated Luxury Gay Space Hellcat, Stephanie Ruff, Pregnant Seinfeld, David Besser, Oh Whoa What's This, Alex Schaup, Springo Zuma Kua Boingy Boingy. Six-Armed Sweater, The One Furry That Constantly Changes Their Name, Nick Verne, Alex Hoot, Dick Butt is the Real Jesus, Maximilian Rower, Tufster McGee, Kangaroo, Bryant, Mogu, Nick Clarkson, Kadeho, Flo Siegel, Sophie, Destry Hawk, Single Payer Sonic Empreg, Pierre the Disaster, The Tallest Jew, Michael Weems, Surrey Jack, Non-Binary with Left Beef, Hank Hills, Hentai Hankering, Summergeist, Helga K, 1,000 Gengars, Harry Tomlinson, Dijonais, Actual Socialist Elon Musk, Chaz Goblin, Paul Blart Fleshcart, Evan, Oleanders, and Ellen the Anarcho-Lalandius. Thank you very much for all your support. We love you all.
Thank you so much, all of y'all.
Yep. If you would like to find me, you can check me out on my other podcast that I do. Also, before I do that, thank you to Matt GameCube for hosting this podcast on his website, noisespace.xyz. It's a great podcast network with a lot of great shows on it.
Yeah, thank you, Matt Noisespace.
Thank you, Matt Noisespace. I'm a big fan of the newest addition to the network, which is Podcasting is Forbidden in the Cloud Recesses, with Roy of the show and wife of the Roy of the show, Fallon, talking about, what's the show's name again?
It's, well, Modao Zushi or, Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. I actually had it as my, Lightbringer a few weeks ago.
Yeah. It's a really, I listened to the first episode. Second episode is in my podcast queue right now. Very excited to listen to more of it.
Yay.
You can find me on my other podcasts, also on Noise Space, The Wonder Years and Fear Baiting. Wonder Years is the Animorphs rereading podcast that I do with my friends Blair and Seda, and Fear Baiting is the horror movie podcast that I do. Our next episode is about the movie Identity, which I just finished recording immediately before starting this podcast.
Like a fucking champ.
Yep. And if you want to find me on Twitter, I am SunhatZhenya. That's SunhatZhenya. And I believe that, I mentioned it last week, but again, I was on an episode of Running in the 90s. It was a really it was an absolute blast. We had to talk about Birdie the Mighty, the OVA. Running in the 90s is a show hosted by friends of the pod, Nick, Sue, and Matt, where they talk about 90s anime. And it's really good. I had a fucking blast, and I really recommend you track down that episode and listen to it.
Hell yeah. And I'm Roy. You can find me on Twitter at SemperFunny. And that's pretty much the only platform I'm using right now. I supposedly have a Tumblr, but I'm not using it for anything.
Who?
And, like Sarah said, I've got my new podcast, Podcasting is Forbidden in the Cloud Recesses. I've only got 2 episodes, but the second one went up yesterday. I do it with my fiance. It's good and fun. I like to do it. And yeah, that's what I'm getting up to. I haven't guessed on anything in a while, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soon. But yeah, thank you for listening to this week's episode of Hungy because Pokemon Going to Die. I only said like 4 words out of the 7 that we do normally.
You're on 2 times speed.
Yeah, if you listen back to this podcast at like 0.5x, I sound normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, also thank you to the Taxpayers for letting us use their song Evil Man off of the album Cold Hearted Town, fucking Slap City.
Hell yeah.
And, I think that's everything. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Hungy Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die. I'm Sarah.
Hey, you gotta say it. Not a threat.
We don't do... Oh, yeah, I'm Sarah, and Memento Pokemori.
Yeah.
Not a threat, just a fact. Memento Pokemori.
Yeah, Memento Pokemon, whatever the other thing is that we say. I don't remember.
Whatever. It's been a lot of podcasting. Bye.
Semper Funny, bye.
Semper Funny.